Just got done with episode 9 of Love is Blind season 7. And we got a little more problems for a lot of the couples. We have one couple that seems to be avoiding most drama, that being Garrett and Taylor. Good for them. Never really liked Garrett, as I've said many times, but they seem to be the only couple that have a smooth sailing. They had a lot in common when they first met, with the whole background in science and honestly a similar personality, which is, I think, working for them. So it's good to see one couple with smooth sailing. I've never been invested in them, though, is the problem. And I don't know. They're just not, like, good TV, but not every couple can be drama and problems, because that would get old, I guess. It already kind of has with most of these couples, as we saw in episode 8. Steven and Monica basically over because Steven is an addict of porn or sex, one or the other, or both. Nick and Hannah, I guess we'll talk about them next. They met each other's parents. Nick also met Hannah's brother, Cade, and I liked her brother way more than I like her. He actually has the personality that she thinks she has. He's funny and easygoing, whereas Hannah's just a big ball of insecurity and thinks she's funny and thinks she knows everything and thinks she's better than Nick. And she does a lot of thinking, but the thinking is usually wrong. I didn't like how Hannah was making Nick feel insecure, trying to make Nick feel insecure. Something I've been saying for many videos now. That was the main thing she wanted to do with Nick, because she's insecure. And Nick pointed it out to her brother that he can make a joke and it will quickly offend her. But she likes to talk shit that sometimes goes really deep and can be hurtful. She says many different hurtful things. And Nick Nick says he has like a strong exterior, but after a while that gets old, kind of gets hurtful. And yeah, duh. And Cade seemed understanding, and it seems like Hannah does that to him sometimes too. So yeah, Hannah, it's good to see that even some of her family members see that she's a big hypocrite. But I did feel as though Nick and Hannah meeting of the parents, I think both of those went well. So I guess that's some points up for them, maybe. Do I like them as a couple? Not at all. Is it because I don't like Hannah? Yeah, probably. Nick has his problems too, though. He has some growing up to do, but I feel like he wants to try. It just kind of sucks that he settled with Hannah, who thinks she knows everything and just doesn't. And because of her insecurities, she takes a lot of shit out on Nick, and it's not fun to watch. Marissa and Ramses, I guess we will talk about next. They continue to have problems of their own, where Ramses is also similar to Hannah in a way. I feel like he's becoming a walking, talking contradiction, where I talked about in my last video that he seemed like a Twitter account come to life with all of his anti-military, anti-war points that just seemed like he was trying to get cool points for being a social justice warrior. That's on Twitter a lot. But, if he's supposed to be this big liberal, he has some hypocrisies within him. Like the whole, he's a big feminist, but he doesn't want to wear a condom because it's not enjoyable sex. But Marissa doesn't want to get on birth control. And it seemed like he was implying that he wanted Marissa to get on birth control. And so, he's just not as big of a I'm at a loss for words. As big of a there's a word I want to say that I just can't think about, and I don't have time to edit this, so I'm just gonna keep talking in hopes that I think of the word. Ah, he thinks he's morally superior, but he's not, and that's starting. The mask is starting to slip off of Ramses. That he's not this big morally superior liberal that he thinks he is. And that's what I felt with the whole condom birth control conversation. He also met Marissa's mom, who I feel like is getting a lot of slack online for being a hard ass, and she was a hard ass. She did a lot of poking of Ramses, but she was kind of poking through his BS. I just reviewed Real Housewives of Atlanta with Q on this channel. I'm watching it for the first time, many seasons behind. But Marissa's mom has some Mama Joyce in her with the whole you must get a prenup, where, Mama Joyce at least has someone in Candy that's a millionaire, and Marissa, far from being a millionaire at this point. So I felt like that the prenup thing was extreme. But her being a hard ass, meeting Ramses for the first time, I think Marissa's mom's getting a little too much shit online. I understand her point of view. Her daughter came on this show where you don't get to see who you're meeting. It's a reality show that, should you really take dating reality shows that seriously? I don't. So I understand her point of view just from that alone, that her daughter went on a dating reality show, meeting some stranger. They have to move fast and get into marriage. Everything she was saying was fine by me. She harsh at times, talking about, you hurt my daughter, I'll cut your balls off. It was funny. I feel like she's a little grumpy. Like, her and Marissa have a similar personality where they're big personalities. It's that the difference is Marissa's mom is like so negative, while Marissa's so positive, and I don't know how that happened between mother and daughter, but it did. But I do kind of like that difference between them, even though they are big personalities. As annoying as Ramses has been lately, they're still the only couple I actually enjoy watching because they communicate so often. They both talk a lot. I don't like the whole they look like siblings thing. I don't see it. They have like similar noses, but that's really about it. Outside of that, they don't look that similar. Just because they have the same nose doesn't mean, and they're both darker skin, doesn't mean they look like siblings. But I don't know. I guess I'm still rooting for them, even though Ramses definitely has become annoying. But I do feel like they try to communicate, which is a good thing, but they do have a lot of differences in what they like and dislike in relationships that they either have to work through or not go through with the marriage. And if they don't go through with the marriage, it's not going to be painful for me, because even though they're kind of the only couple I'm invested in, I'm not that invested overall, to be honest, which I think is a detriment to the season. The other big detriment to the season, and as I've said before, I don't know if this is your first time watching any of my videos, but if it is, this is my first time watching Love is Blind ever. So I don't know if the seasons are always like this, but they continue to miss the initial drama. We saw it with the fight between Alex and Tim. We saw it with the initial fight between Steven and Monica. And now again with Ashley and Tyler, where Ashley had found out finally that Tyler has a bunch of kids, 3 kids that she didn't know about because he never communicated to her before this. But now we're seeing the fallout after that where they're talking through it. But we don't get to see the initial drama again. This is the 3rd time this season that has happened. That's bad TV. That's bad producing, bad cameraing. I mean, the show clearly just needs to put cameras in these people's houses rather than just have cameramen. That seems to be where they're going wrong. I guess they're missing all the good drama. But missing the drama and just seeing the aftermath is not good TV. I'm sorry. This shit should not be happening off camera if it's a TV show. So very negative on that for the show overall. But I'm glad to see Ashley has found out the truth about Tyler and his children. I don't like to be spoiled on shows, but that was a spoiler I did see online before I even got to episode 6, I think, where it came out online that Tyler had kids and he was kind of a deadbeat dad to them. And since then, it's been hard for me to be invested in Ashley and Tyler, even though they were one of the couples I enjoyed the most initially, because I already knew this was coming. So now I hope Ashley runs, because Tyler seems like a deadbeat dad, and they keep talking about children this whole time. She wants a baby girl at some point. He already has 2 girls. She's just finding out about that now. Tyler has a lot of baggage, even if he doesn't like to take care of that baggage, he has a lot of baggage. So hoping Ashley runs. And that just leaves Tim and Alex, who I have nothing to talk about with them. I think that they haven't had that much airtime since their fight that we didn't get to see. I've never been invested in them as a couple, so if they make it, if they don't, can't say I care about Tim and Alex. I still think that at the beginning, Tim was trying to make Alex his therapist. They were doing a bunch of trauma dumping on each other, but mostly from Tim to Alex. Alex has anger issues, or at least that's what the edit painted before their fight that we didn't get to see. And without us seeing their fight, I can't take a side. It's just a bunch of hearsay. So whatever to those two.